Good morning, friends. It's Angela, Wild Violets Art, and it's Friday morning here in Minnesota. And we've had a beautiful 2 weeks. I can't believe how mild it is. I'm sad about the snow all going away because it just leaves everything brown. But the birds are coming back, and I can't wait to see if all the bulbs I planted in the spring are going to come out. So I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my joys is watching things come back after a long winter's rest. So today I am playing with a couple of different items, new things from the online exclusive. So be sure to check out the online store. They're usually a place where you can click on what's new, and it'll give you an idea of all the beautiful things that are out there. You can also look under suites. If you go over to the left-hand side, there should be a menu, and you can check kits or suites, and these are both. So this is the Botanical Textures suite collection, and it's all of these items here. And then I have the Heirloom Arrangements Kit, and we'll look at this in just a minute. Today I'm just showing you this because what I'm going to be doing is using one of these pages. So this suite collection includes these little neutral matte dots. So I like them that they're not shiny. I like them that they're low profile. So you can see that they don't interrupt mail delivery. And then it comes with a really beautiful, soft, woven, textured ribbon. You can see how pretty that pattern is. Hopefully it will clear up here so you can see. So you can see just, it's a really pretty woven pattern. Just looks like a nice linen, but it's softer than that. And so this is just white. And then it comes with an embossing folder, which looks like corrugated. And I don't know how long you've been doing Stampin' Up, or maybe you got it from another company, but I have one of the old corrugated, it was like a winding thing, and I still have it. And it made a corrugated look. So those of you that like mixed textures in your cards or your scrapbooking, this is going to be great. And then it also includes this bundle, which is the textured notes. And I love this font. It's very, very beautiful. I love this little sentiment here. And it's got some imagery, great little grass woven textures. And look at these exquisite dies. Aren't those pretty? So they cut a rectangle out, whatever shape you want, and then it's got all these beautiful patterns. So just let me bring it up a little bit closer so you can see how beautiful they are. So some of them are just, you know, the little cut marks, you know, like normal, but these other ones are just really pretty because they create a really pretty frame to the cardstock. So those will be fun to use. And then we have this beautiful paper. So this is, let me see what the name of it is. Hold on. This one is the Woven Textures. So it's 12 by 12, and there are 4 patterns. So this is both sides of this page, 4 patterns, and there's 3 of each. So it's a little different than what you normally get in a DSP packet, because normally you get 6 patterns and 2 of each. So there's still 12, but there's 4 patterns and 3 of each. And I love these different grass woven looks. This one is actually a linen, just a really pretty linen, rough linen look. And this is the one I'm going to use today. So I'm going to hold out one of these and put these away. And then you've got, this is Botanical Textures. And so on one page is a real pretty botanical print. On the second is a beautiful watercolor. And of course, it's just in black and white, which can make for some really beautiful, again, some scrapbooking and some cards. I love the real neutral, not busy backs. This one's a little busy, but there's some really pretty backgrounds. And I think that it'll make for some really great cards and scrapbooks. And I'll get more into this suite, this Botanical Texture suite later on. But today I want to highlight using this kit, but I wanted this background. So it's hard to get really neutral backgrounds from Stampin' Up. They tend to have a lot of patterns. So, so this is the Heirloom Arrangements Kit. And with all the kits, they're all inclusive, which means they have everything except for maybe a pair of snips if you need them. And so this is one of the kits that doesn't have any ribbon or anything, so you don't need any scissors or snips, but just a really beautiful collection. And when you're done making these cards, there is not a single card that looks the same. So that to me is just amazing. And they've got the pecan pie Stampin' Spot. And then you've got a stamp set that's got some texture to it, a really pretty moth. And then thank you for you. I feel lucky to have you. I appreciate your kindness, thankful and grateful. So really, actually, both of these are about gratitude. So I think that's really very sweet. And then it's got 4 different card designs, and there are 2 of each. So you end up with 8 cards. So you've got this one. This one's kind of a pecan pie color. You've got pretty in pink, and just a real pretty subtle print. So 2 of them with that. And this is, I believe, a blueberry bushel, but a light version of it. Doesn't quite. And then you've got some of these with that texture, the same as here. So really beautiful cards. And we're going to use these 2, and I'm going to show you how I've used them and combined it with the Textured Notes bundle. So I die cut out some of these images with these dies. So we'll get into that in just a minute. And then they've got this really pretty envelope. And if you're ever wanting to use the inside of an envelope, let me just show you how I typically cut it. Now, I usually check to see if the pattern is on both sides of the envelope. And you can see on this side, it's not. So what I'll do is I will just cut one side, or on one side just a tiny bit, like not even 1/8 of an inch, like a 1/16 of an inch. You can see how narrow this piece is, and you can see how, and you have to do it with a sharp blade, but then you can open it up and you don't risk tearing along the edges, and you maximize the amount of pattern that you can use. So this white doesn't really do anything, but I'm going to save it because I can put a sentiment on it, and just stamp a sentiment in pecan pie or something for my scrapbook. So I'll save that. I almost tossed it. Okay, so let me just show you some more of the kit. So we'll hold that aside. So it's got labels for your sentiments. And then I just want you to see all this stuff because, like I said, when you're done, no 2 cards are going to be exactly alike. So you've got 8 different of these floral patterns. You have more than 8 of these butterflies and flowers. So you've got 7 of these, and then you have another 5 of these. And every one of them is different. Again, you've got 6 of these and 6 of these. And then you have 8 vellum. Aren't these botanicals so pretty? This kind of stuff I just love. Not everybody's into it, but I love the old antique stuff. And then again, we've got 6 of these. It includes a flower, and then 5 of these little cards. And then you've got 5 of these little tags and pieces. And when you go through the instructions, you'll find that it actually only shows you how to make 2 of them. But it just gives you an idea of how to create the cards. So you can see that when you're done, you're using one of different elements, and then the second one again, and then they show you how to make the other 6 cards, just what they're going to look like when you're done. So just to give you an idea of what the kit's like. And we'll play with that more on Monday, actually. So that's going to be my Marvelous Monday. And we're going to create some beautiful cards with this, but we're going to create some alternates as well. So, okay. So what I have done is I have cut out a bunch of pieces. And this is my background for my scrapbook, but I'm going to show you how I created it. And you can see that the cards, I used different pieces. Hey, Linda, good morning. And just use the different patterns. And you can see how pretty that those patterns are with the dies. Isn't that pretty? Just makes a really interesting edge that you don't normally get. So normally this is a typical, Stampin' Up! Rectangle die, but these have some really pretty patterns. And I've got some more here. So I just took 2 cards from the kit, and you can just see that pretty pattern that's at the edge of these cards. So this small one matches this one, but just has a really cool woven look to it. So we'll use more of these for my other scrapbook page. Okay. So what I did, so for this one, you kind of want to know what your photo size is going to be. And so I've got a picture here of my grandkids, and I just love how sweet they are together. So this is just going to be centered in my page, maybe off to the side a little bit. It doesn't have to be necessarily centered, but I don't know. There's something about having this centered, even though they are actually off to the side. So, okay. So what I did first is, once you figure out where you're going to put your pieces, then I am just putting these, just cattywampus, as a little bit of background. And I just think that they've got some really cool vintage elements to it. And then and I'm just stacking these in different ways. Each one of them is a little bit different. And then we're going to create a pattern from that. And so that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm looking at. So then I'm bringing my pecan pie. So that's the stamp set that's in here. And I'm going to use a couple of stamps from Elements of Text. So this is one of my favorites because, of course, it's got a little bit of vintage. And I'm using this typed stamp, and then this splatter stamp. So I'm just mixing those two. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of figure out where my patterns are going to be. And then I'll do some blending brush to add more color. Because when I'm done, I want it to have a little bit of this look, but I'm going to make this one a little bit more organized. This one I was a little bit more random, but this one I kind of want things to flow in one direction. So let me show you what I mean. So let me get some protection, because this glass mat tends to get ink all over the place if I don't pick it up right away. Okay. So what I'm going to do is alternate these two. So I've got this text here, and then I like that it's got, some splatters to it as well. And then I want a little bit off the edges of the page. And then I've got some shadow stamping as well. And then over here, okay, and then I need one up here. So let's just kind of make sure that we've got everything figured out. So again, I'm starting with my picture in the middle, and then I've got this, and then this one has a little bit of a background. And so I think that's good for the script. And then I'm going to add some of these dots or these little splatters. Now, some ways that you kind of help the pattern be a little bit more random is I will rock this a little bit, which I know you're not normally supposed to do, but it helps me kind of make sure that they don't keep seeing the same splatter pattern over and over again. I mean, you can rotate it as well, that helps. But sometimes I just want to have a little extra splatter and have it not look all the same. So see how there's just some dots on this end? Get this out of the way so I can make sure that I'm okay. Let's just kind of do one more time, get the dry run going. And maybe another couple of splatters over here. Most of them in that direction. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that look. And now I need to do some blending brush. And so this is where these need to be out of the way so I don't get any of the color on it. And just gonna darken the edges a little bit. Using a little bit more and a little bit less in places because I don't want it to overpower, but and then I know that I've got some stuff that's going to be up here, so just going all the way around. And this is more of a vintage, you know, heirloom. And you don't have to necessarily make sure your photos are old either. You can just, you know, be doing newer photos. So I just want to make sure I have a little bit of color around the base of where my photo is going to be. So some of the splotch ones are actually going to be covered up, so I'm not too worried about that. Just, I do want more color around the center. It kind of just helps frame everything. So I feel pretty good about this. I think maybe a little bit more color down here in this corner. That way it's heaviness down at the bottom. Okay. It feels a little bit random, but you know, just practice, and you get different looks. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is just place this in the middle, and then I can start adding the other elements. So I don't do a heavy amount of adhesive because I like to tuck things under. So I'm going to place this in the middle. Actually, I do want to kind of, yeah, I think in the middle is fine. Okay. So I'm just eyeballing it. You can measure if you're a measuring kind of person, but I typically just eyeball. And it doesn't always do me any good, but I don't want to be that particular. Okay. So just making sure the fonts are right side up. And so this is kind of the direction I'm going to have on these two pieces. And just add some tear and tape to the backs of these. I just love that old print, old newspaper print and advertisements. I've always been so enamored with old things. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my grandmother kept giving me old stuff and kind of stuck with me. Not everybody in my family feel that way, but I don't know. There's something about it that I think it's also because my mother was such a vagabond. She moved constantly and seemed like we never really could keep the things that we had, and no sense of home or permanency. So you just kind of find yourself glomming on to things. And so, yeah, maybe some hoarding happened. I've got a few antiques that, you know, maybe one day I'll get into cabinets, but right now they're just put away. Don't get them out very often. Okay, so some things wonky, some things not. And then the photo will just slip right in here. Okay, so now is the fun part. So now we've got all these fun elements that can come in to play. And I don't need so much of the big background stuff, but I do want some use of them. So let me just find one that I think would go well with the colors that I've got going here. And I think this one would be nice. And actually maybe adding a sentiment to this one. So I'm wondering, you are seriously the best. And I think that's too big. Yeah, I think that one's too long. But we'll add that to something else. And I think something smallish. I think because I use these, I don't need as much of these as we have, but so I'm not sure. I think I definitely want these. and maybe this. Kind of just gives a little hint of color. And then I think having one of these maybe this one, not sure. Okay, so now we have these really beautiful ferns and florals. So we can add a little bit of this. And because I took 2 cards, I am going to take a couple of these, and I think primarily I'll take these 2 green pieces. I do have another page though, so I probably should just use one for one page and one for the other. Beautiful florals. So let's see. Let's take a look at all of these. So I think I'll use this one for the other page. And there's way more than, one for each. So I think I'll use one of these little flowers and butterflies. I like this blue one. Got a lot of pink stuff going on. So, and maybe a pink butterfly for the other page. This kit has just been so popular and so beautiful. So, all right. I think one more floral. And then I think that's all that I need for this. I really don't need, well, I do like this. I like this butterfly tag, and maybe I'll put this up here instead. And I can add, this is something that spans 2 pages, because I'm going to have the other one as well. And let's just take a look, make sure that we're not covering anything we shouldn't. So what do you think? I'm really happy with this. I think it'll work just perfect. Okay, so now it's just a matter of popping them on. I do need to place my photo first, and then I can start popping my pieces on. And this one is loose, so let's add that. And then I'm just going to do a couple of glue dots for this vellum rather than using dimensionals because I want it just to be held down because I don't want it to tear. And then I can add some dimensionals for underneath these flowers. All right, so now these need to be added. And I'm actually going to pop this up. Just hiding the date here. And I can add something that adds the date if I want to. And then I'm going to pop these up. So the scripture that has come to mind, this actually not come to mind, but part of my reading for this week, and just had a really, impacted my heart. I know that things haven't, they don't always go per plan. And, when you're recovering from surgery and you've been in anesthesia twice in, a 90-day period, it's going to affect your ability to concentrate and to plan. But I kind of got left in the lurch on a few things with my husband because he wasn't thinking about everything that he had committed to. And so, I found myself just really frustrated and, with him and the Lord and everything that's happened because our circumstances, there's just been a lot of challenges. Losing my dad, losing Christina, so much has been happening. And so when I was reading this scripture, it was just really impactful. Yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed for his compassion. Okay, we are not consumed, for his compassion never fail. They are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. And the reason why this was impactful is because when things are getting rough for me, I need to just sit back and think about all the blessings we've had in our life. And we've had so many. Just being able to come out here and be close to the kids, spend a year with Christina before she passed. There's just been so much that's been really amazing that I'm going to just cut this real quick. That I have a lot to be grateful for, and I just need to continue to use compassion with my husband and understanding because, it's not his fault that he's had these 2 cancer surgeries and things aren't firing like they normally would. And so, one of the things that I need to remember are all the many blessings, all the many things that the Lord has provided, miracle after miracle. He's faithful, and we don't always get the results that we want, but I know that he's going to continue to be faithful and continue to hold on to us and be there for us. So it's, I just need to remember that. So hopefully, these little scriptures give you some encouragement. And sometimes it's a little hard to know what direction to go. But I know that he continues to hold this in his hands. So, okay. So back to scrapbooking. I want to use this sentiment, and I know I've shown this in the past, but for those of you that are new, there's a way that's real easy to put these stamp sets together. So these are the rubber stamps, and they are not clear like photopolymer, and so you have to do some assembling to put the sticker onto the stamp. So what I do is I put down the sticker with the sticker back. So I peel it completely off of the page, and this is the page where the stickers are on, and I just lay it down. And it's sticky, so you're going to have to try to find a way to get it to stop sticking to you. So you can just get it to sit there. Okay, there we go. And then I want it to be on my block. So I've just got the sticker on there. So now we're going to take the sticker back off, and they cut them in half so you have a place that you can peel them up. And then I need the stamp itself. So then there is a backing that gets removed, so it shows the sponge or the cushion portion. And then I can line up my sticker to the sponge stamp. So then it's all one piece. See? Okay, so I need this sentiment on this piece of paper. And I need my pecan pie stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp this. And because I think this makes a great sentiment. And this is one of the sentiments from Textured Notes, and I love this font, so beautiful. Okay, and then I just need to cut. And what I want to do is I just want to cut this at an angle. Let's see what kind of angle I can get from here. And then I'm going to match the angle on this side. And then we figure out where we want to put this sentiment. And I think that works. So let's add some, make sure I've got it going on the right side. So I'm just going to put a couple of dimensionals. And I'm keeping the dimensionals off my photos. So then just want to make sure that it's, so the only thing that's missing is my title. And one of the titles, let's see if I can find it. I thought I had it out to use. Oh, there it is. So this was free during celebration. And I know it's not fun when I show something that's already gone, come and gone. But I just think that this has such a fun way of creating. So I think that I'm going to use A Perfect Day. And I'll put this in the sun on the other page. So let's use this because this is the nice eye block. And we're going to need in the sun and oops, this is what you don't want that. So A Perfect Day. So we'll put that down. One of the things I did is I accidentally ripped this. So I have to place it kind of carefully, make sure it's together. And then I can pick it up all at one time. So you can see it's going to have a perfect day. Okay, so we'll stamp that. Oh, I'm running out of room. So let me put the word day down and find a place for a perfect. Make sure it's level. Okay, that looks good. All right. Make sure it's not on any of the pieces because it makes it so that it doesn't adhere. And I'm pushing down really good. There, I love that. That's perfect. And then I've got this little sentiment in the sun that I will put on the other page. Okay, so we have this one, and I have this second page that I haven't finished. And I'll do that off camera, and I'll have this in my blog so you can see the end results. But we want this little sentiment. I think right here in the middle. And then it's a perfect day in the sun. Isn't that sweet? All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, I'd appreciate you liking and subscribing, sharing with a friend. If you have a chance and you're on my Facebook page or my Instagram, make sure you put in a heart or a wow or a comment. That kind of gets the algorithms going. So likes kind of don't mean anything, but unless you have like tons of them. But if you're able to do that, that'd be wonderful. And I'll finish this one. And again, I'll have it on my blog. And so you can have a look at that. I love the kit. The embellishments that you can put in, or just the elements, are just so pretty. And it makes for just a really great scrapbook. I love the florals and the butterflies and all that kind of stuff. I know someday my granddaughter and grandson will appreciate these. If not, my grandson's wife. He may not anytime soon, but so great. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon.